So at this point, I'm pretty much done with this example here, but there are two remaining features or things you should know about HTMX. And the first thing you should know is that HTMX also offers you some configuration options. Now, again, as always, the official docs are a great place to learn about all the options, but in the end, the idea is that HTMX offers some options you can set up to achieve a certain default behavior which you might not have otherwise. For example, if you find yourself setting hxswap to outer HTML all the time, and you therefore want that as a default, instead of inner HTML, which it normally would be, you could achieve that by overriding the default HTMX configuration. And there are two ways of doing that. One way is to go into your main.js file, and then there you'll have access to a globally available HTMX variable, which is created by HTMX. Now you can console log that to see what's inside of it. And if you do that, you'll see that it's an object which has a nested config object which has all the options you can set. And for example, here you also see that default swap style, which is set to inner HTML out of the box. Now we could change this here and set htmx.config.default swap style. And you must make sure that you got the casing right and that you got no typo. And then you can set this to outer HTML here, for example. With that, if you save that and you reload, you'll see that this is now the default that is assumed. Now, as a result, our app would actually break here because I'm relying on this not being the default. But if you had an app where you need a different default, this is how you could set it up. An alternative way of configuring HTMX is to do it via HTML. You can go to your head section of the page that's currently active, and then there you can add a meta element and give it a name of htmx-config, because that is a name HTMX will be looking for. And then there as a content, you can set up your configuration. For that, you must pass some JSON data to content, and hence I'll wrap this with single quotes because I need the double quotes to wrap my keys. And then here, we could also set up the default swap style and set it to outer HTML, for example. So that would then be the HTML approach of configuring HTMX. With that added, if I save that and reload, you'll see that in config, this is now again the default swap style, and therefore again, this app here breaks. But if you need to configure something, that is an alternative way of doing it. Here, however, I don't need that, and therefore I'll remove it.